What are those things?
They're squirrels, Fred. Calm down.
Oh, right.
You guys want some Halloween candy?
Absolutely we do!
Okay, here you go.
Delicious, thank you!
I want to try some. Oof. Wow, delicious.
Fred, those are for the squirrels.
You ate my candy! Ah!
You'll be sorry for this, Fred.
Ah! Ah! They're in my suit! Ah!
Oh, Fred.
Any more candy? Huh? Any more? 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 How about more?
On the table, it is all about Disney Big Hero 6, the series action figures. This techno team of heroes has been quietly on my mind for some time now, and I finally said, let's take a look at them. I previously collected the 4-inch figure line, and I thought those would be mostly sufficient, but looking at this 5-inch figure line and the detailing mirroring the new series just looked a little more fun to play with.
Blah.
I believe there might be a little more articulation and a little better paintwork with a larger sized figure, and what typically happens with me, I buy one, then all of a sudden there's another one, and 2, and 3, and 4, and then next thing you know, the whole series is on the table. Anyhow, we have lots to look at. Baymax up front, Hiro on the side, Gogo there, Wasabi on the left, Honey Lemon on the right, and Fred in the back. There's also Unarmored Baymax, and this sinister fellow. So plenty to look at. Let's just start with the big guy though, Baymax, and go from there. And Baymax. The box design with these is really clever with the Baymax inflatable in the back. Really clean, eye-catching box design. On the back of the box, a quick image of the group and a collection guide. Unfortunately, no bio cards. Ban Dai needs to get into bio cards. I think that's the best. Luckily, we were able to find all figures today though, so we can go through each one in all their glorious detail. Alright, Baymax, let's remove you. And Baymax, outside of the package, this is one hulk of a figure. Looks like most of the plastic budget was spent on this figure out of the others. Such immense scale with this toy. Unfortunately, the footprint's a little bit tight, so he will tip really easily. If I've not said it once, I've said it 100 times. Please make the footprint a little larger on very heavy toys, that way they don't fall over. There he goes. That test actually went pretty balanced though. For as a good looking Baymax figure, how is the articulation on this Hulk? Head rotation, kind of on a ball joint, so there's a little bit of a swivel in there. Tiniest of bits. Then we have shoulders, which are underneath those giant pads. And there are hinges under there, but with those shoulder pads there's limited movement, but better than I expected. Then we have elbows, which are also better than expected, being underneath all that armor. The hips are where things get a little bit crazy. Ban Dai has made some really strange hips. They don't want to do much. They're kind of, I don't even know what they're doing, honestly. You kind of think that with those screw holes that they would rotate out, but you just kind of get this little wobbly movement with them. Maybe kind of a front and back with them. Very, very tight in what you can do with them. They do help you swivel the figure forward or backward, I suppose, in balancing, so it is important, but it's kind of tricky. Anyhow, we've got knees as well, and those are very limited too. Might just be the paint, but not too much there. You really want those feet to be strong though to hold up the back end of this guy. And of course we do have wings. Those you have to assemble outside a box, and now that they're popped into place are holding fairly well. Sometimes things like this made by Ban Dai love to pop off over and over again. Hopefully they'll hold in for the long term. So that is Baymax with armor. I would imagine one of the most popular ones to pick up. Heavy figure worth the look. Next up, most importantly, it's Moochie. I mean Hiro. You gotta have a Hiro action figure. Let's open up. Outside of pack, we have Hiro and Moochie. Super cool that cat is included with this figure. Hiro's looking way good. I would say most improved figure from the previous collection. And you know, I want to say I think I collected mostly the stealth figures from the 4-inch line. They were in the darker blacks and gray. You see a lot more detail in the faces of the 5-inch figure line, with the helmet standing off from the face a little bit. Better paint on the eyes, a little more of an expression on him. Feels more cartoon-like. Although, ironically, the Moochie from the 4-inch line is larger than the Moochie from the 5-inch line. So looking at this hero, pretty good footprint with the boots. He's standing in a weird position, but he's not tipping over with that giant head. And those gloves can do some damage too on tippability. Good lively paint with the purple and orange. Articulation, we're looking at possible head rotation. Shoulders that rotate and hinge. Elbows. Kind of an interesting hinge inside there. Those are the biggest gloves for grabbing onto Baymax, obviously. No waist rotation, but there is hips. And pretty, oh no. Well, ball jointed hips. I was gonna say pretty good motion, so if you overdo it, they'll pop out. And knees. I don't really see rotation in the knees. Oh, we've really done his knee a number. He's gonna have to go back to the institute for some therapy, and nothing really on those knees. Just enough motion for a good figure though. That is if you can keep him balanced, and so far he's balancing well. So that is Hiro, worthy of the collection. Let's go on to Gogo Tamago next. She's looking sleek and fast of a figure. Shall I go fast with an opening, or go slow with an opening? And Gogo outside of pack. You do not want to breathe on this one though. She is very tippable. Look at the tiny feet. You think with the wheels on this side they could have done some things to help balance her up, but she will go down unfortunately easy. And there she goes. And it looks like those electromagnetic wheels need some work. I want to say for some reason these Ban Dai figures are a little bit different than what I'm normally used to Ban Dai. The yellow plastic on Gogo is still very similar to what I've seen in many Ban Dai toys, but like her legs and torso section, the paint they're using feels like a little bit of a different paint or different plastic. Something a little tougher or rigid in a way. As for the rest of the figure, we have articulation in the shoulders, elbows. Doesn't look like wrists. Oh, of course, the head rotation. Nothing in the waist, but hips probably ball jointed again, and knees. Oh boy, can I get her to stand? I can, but wheels are falling off. So as much as Hiro was an improved figure, it looks like Gogo was de-improved. Her previous 4-inch figure worked a little bit better. The wheels clipped on by C-clips and they held on tight. New Gogo wheels are just on pins and they fall right out. And I really like the sleek stealth look of that Gogo, by the way. I guess the head sculpt design is an improvement, but the 4-inch figure plays so much better. So I guess only pick this one up if you are a big Gogo fan. If you want a kind of malfunctioning figure, stay away. Maybe Honey Lemon could redeem the last Gogo figure. Let's find out. Thank goodness for a display stand for Honey Lemon, or we would be in serious trouble. On the other hand, surprisingly, those high platform shoes almost felt like they were weighted enough to hold her up. They're thick, just need a slightly larger footprint. It kinda shows though how simple it is to include just a small little display base. Probably wouldn't cost anything extra to include, and actually enhances the figure when they're matched color-wise. Had the whole collection had simple display bases, wow, that would be cool. Still not really sure why that doesn't happen very often anymore. So Honey Lemon actually looking really good though, with the previous 4-inch line actually looking pretty good too. By the way, she had the weirdest display base. This is a very tall action figure and you have to be careful not to break her knees. Oh, that's gotta be uncomfortable. But by being very tall and slim, great articulation with the figure. No head rotation, but that's probably because of all that hair back there. Surprisingly, she's a little bit... You can get a little bit of motion, but not much. Shoulders are good though. With rotation, oh god! Elbows on pins that are kind of there, so be careful with those. And her skirt is going to impede her hips a little bit, but there is a slit down the side, so you can kind of move those ball jointed hips. And again, I broke her knees. So overall, I like this Honey Lemon figure. I think it is a good update on the 5-inch line. I think it all comes down to the display base. Ironically round. Had they simply taken Gogo's wheels, they could have used that as a display base, but there's no hole there. So, no good on that either. Sorry, Gogo. Anyhow, look for Honey. Good figure. How about we look at Wasabi next? Wasabi outside of box, looking very promising so far. Good balanced figure standing well. They made the footprint large enough even with a heavy torso section. Okay facial expression, kind of blank. There was a little more of a smirk with the 4-inch line. Wow, that Wasabi looked really small. This one feeling nice and scaled up. Articulation, shoulders. Pretty good even with these shoulder pads. Head rotation is there. Probably just 180. Elbows. Nothing in the torso, but there is hips. And really good movement. He's wearing the right pants. No, well there they are. The knees are hidden behind the pants. So we've got backward motion, but no frontward motion. Well, why would there be? So good articulation with the guy. Although he's starting to loosen up a little bit. We've got plasma blades that plug in, so you can either take them off or place them onto his wrists. Oh, he dropped his other one, so he's getting a little bit loose. But I still have... Oh, goodness. There we go. So he's loosening up a little bit. Maybe his immense size is causing some things. That Ban Dai plastic sometimes has a hard time in keeping larger figures up. But he looks good. I like how they went large with him. The set as a group will look really nice with Wasabi there. Also one of the better weapons of the group. And it's Fred. Why did I wait so long to show Fred? Fred's the best. And Fred outside of the box, very shiny, almost slippery with the plastic and paint they've got going with him. This one is by far my favorite of the collection. I always have to have a Fred figure standing by handy. Here would be the regular 4-inch Fred and the Stealth Fred from the previous 4-inch line series. All of them so spectacularly Fred. This guy is a perfect character to complete a superhero group. What do we have for articulation? Looks like shoulders that rotate and are on hinges, although they're very tight. Ugh. Obviously, 360 head rotation, and then nothing in the waist. We'll get to elbows, and hips, and knees. And we place a tail on the back there, and you can wag it just a little bit in rotation mode. So there we go, Fred. Such a vibrant figure, so colorfully painted. You have to have this guy on your team. Love the claw hands, by the way. Those are great for play. It's Fred. Gotta get Fred. Fred. Next up, it is your friendly, unarmored Baymax in medical mode. And Baymax outside of pack, looking wondrous as always. Ban Dai has always done pretty well with this one being something that is inflatable, now translated into something solid of plastic. And I like the matte look of this one. The previous Baymax that I had was a little glossy. It didn't really reflect the material used for Baymax very well. This one, even though solid, feels a little more inflatable. Articulation-wise, we have head rotation, a little bit tight. There is shoulders on hinges and rotation. Then these feet have always been fun in the past. They're about the same, just a little bit of hinging there, giving you the ability to stand him in, well, basically standing position. So if you like your Baymax unarmored and maybe silly, this is the one to go for. And the final figure to look at today, after looking at all the good, we have to look at one bad, Obake. Obake outside of the box, the villain of the series, but also a little bit hard to stand, being so tall, kind of Honey Lemon-esque. Could use a display base, but at least those feet are slightly lengthy. Kind of the downside to the Big Hero 6 collection is not enough bad guys for them to fight with. Obake here is the only one I think available to twist and toil with, and really in this form he's just a guy in a business suit, kind of boring. You need something for Baymax to punch, and this guy would be a quick punch out. Pretty good looking figure though, okay likeliness to the character on this show. I like the glowiness effect to his face. Articulation wise, head rotation, looks like up under the skull there. And shoulders, elbows, hips, and knees. Both the elbows and knees kind of worrisome, they could pop out. So that's Obake. I guess you can have him command squirrels to attack or something.
I don't want to attack!
And that's where we end. And there we go with Disney Big Hero 6, the series action figure collection 5-inch line. Kind of mixed results with these guys. In package, they look great. I thought they would be an upgrade to the 4-inch line, and in some ways they are with their faces. However, in other retrospects, they're kind of clumsy, especially Gogo. She is almost impossible, losing discs and falling over. They did well with Armor Up Baymax and Hiro. Fred, of course, is wonderful. Honey Lemon and Wasabi are about down the line. The Baymax Inflatable is a good one too. Nothing really exciting about Obake at all, so I guess it's mixed results. If you're new to Big Hero 6 collecting and want some figures, this is an opportunity to get some, as these are currently on shelf. Yes, Obake?
Yes. Can the squirrels attack now, please?
Yeah, I guess they can.
I don't want to, but he's making me. Oh dear. Oh no. Oh.
I seem to have lost my balance. Disney Big Hero 6 The Series action figures arrive on store shelves fall 2018. They run approximately $12, $13 a piece. I found most of this collection over at Target, with a couple picked up on Amazon. If you're big into Big Hero 6, some of these figures are really fun to play with. Just not Gogo. Poor Gogo. So if you need to fight crime in an all-technological way, look for the Big Hero 6 collection of action figure. Just be careful of Obake's squirrels. That's what I have to say about that.
Never steal a squirrel's Halloween candy. Okay, Fred. Thanks for watching Squirrel Stampede. Please like, share, subscribe.